My name is John Harrison. I'm turning 40 this year. I lost my mom early on and have been living with my dad since. Dad married late in life, so he never pressured me about not being married at my age. However, his aging happened faster than I expected. Earlier this year, he fell down the stairs and broke his leg. It made him difficult to walk. He was classified as needing care. As a single man with no experience in caregiving, I had no choice but to reluctantly put him in a nursing home. When I apologized, Dad just laughed it off and said,
"I don't want you to support me toileting like a caregiver does."
He agreed to go into the nursing home. At the nursing home where my dad was staying, I had a fateful encounter. Alice, 10 years older than me, is a gentle and kind-hearted caregiver. She took great care of my dad and always greeted me with a smile. I fell head over heels for Alice and asked her out. She initially refused due to our age difference, but eventually, she gave in to my persistent pursuit, and we started dating. After a year, we got married.
I'm too old for a wedding dress or other beautiful dresses. Let's just file our marriage papers without a wedding.
I was embarrassed about wearing a tuxedo, and just being able to marry Alice was enough for me. My dad, who had never commented on my marital status, cried tears of joy when I told him about our marriage. Everyone at work congratulated me on my marriage and said, "Congratulations." Except one person.
Wow, even a guy like you managed to get married. What's your wife like?
My boss, Jake, 5 years older than me, is frankly quite rude. His words and attitude often show his disdain for women. It makes him the least popular among female colleagues. He always looked down on me too, so I didn't like him much. However, since he's my boss, I couldn't really give him the cold shoulder. It's a good company, but his presence makes going to work depressing.
Bring her to the next company trip. It's okay to bring family, right?
Are you bringing your wife and kids, Jake?
No way, they're staying home. Can't afford to take them on trips.
The married folks at work wondered how his wife hadn't brought up divorce yet. I wanted to give Alice a break from the difficulties she's faced, so I agreed to Jake's suggestion. However, on the day of the trip—
What? She's your wife?
Yes. I arrived at the station platform where we were meeting a little early, sat alone on a bench. Jake, who was waiting for us, seemed incredulous when I introduced Alice for the first time. Then he burst out laughing as if he couldn't stand it and pointed at us and laughed so hard at us.
She's so much older. I thought you brought your mother.
Excuse me.
At your age, you can't get married a younger woman, can you? I'm glad I got married early.
At first, I couldn't understand his words and stood there dumbfounded. However, the moment I realized that those words were hurting Alice, my body moved involuntarily and I was about to hit Jake. Alice stopped me.
Let's go over there, John.
Ignoring Jake, who was still laughing out loud, Alice distanced us from him. And she said like this with smile.
You know, just let him say whatever he wants. The words of such stupid people who only see things on the surface don't reach me at all. Isn't it a waste of time to deal with others?
Alice.
Since we had a great opportunity to take a trip together, so let's enjoy it.
I thought I couldn't love her more, but I was wrong. It seems like there is no limitation for love. We enjoyed the trip entirely, staying away from Jake. The first day is over. The hotel for the night was a treat from our non-participating president, who wanted us to have a good time. I was looking forward to it what the hotel would be like, but—
You guys have a reservation at the inn next door.
What?
I secretly changed the reservation. You guys re-newlyweds, right? I thought it'd be better for you two to be alone, so I did you a favor. It's a nice inn, perfect for a couple like you guys.
I knew Jake, who is smirking at us now, wasn't the type to care about us. He left us, bewildered, waving his hand and heading to the hotel, saying,
See you tomorrow.
What should we do, John?
For now, let's check in the inn next door. Then, when we headed to the inn next to the hotel. The inn was, to put it mildly, not exactly pristine, quite old and worn. Just in case, we checked with the staff, and sure enough, there was a reservation under our names.
So, as Jake mentioned, our hotel room our president reserved has been already cancelled, right?
Seems so. We'll have to stay here. Sorry, Alice.
It's fine. I didn't expect this, but this inn has its charm. I actually prefer cozy inns.
She said with a smile. I felt incredibly fortunate to have such an understanding wife. When Alice and I got married, some people made hurtful comments.
Marrying someone that much older, are you into older women?
You never were popular, so an older partner was all you could get. But hey, at least you're married now.
Those words hurt, but I'm proud to say I'm happy with Alice. After the rough treatment from Jake, something happened that made me feel even stronger about this. The next day.
I'll go to the restroom. Can you wait for me outside?
Because Alice said so, I obediently followed her instructions, getting out of the inn first. While I was waiting for her outside the inn.
You're early. You're John from the admin department, right?
Good morning, President. I heard you wouldn't join us. Then, the president looked at the beautiful woman wearing glasses next to him and said,
My daughter insisted on coming, so we're joining from today. I heard the hotel is here.
No, the hotel is next door. This is a different inn.
I see, my mistake. Why are you here then?
He asked curiously, so I honestly explained the situation. The president's expression turned stern, his daughter frowning. Right then, Alice arrived.
Sorry for making you wait, John. Oh, you're with.
No worries, I wasn't waiting long. President, this is my wife. The president and his daughter were visibly shocked.
Alice, why are you here?
What? President, how do you know my wife's name?
Mr. Smith. It's been a long time.
Alice, how do you know the president's last name? I was the only one confused, as Alice and the president seemed to know each other. Alice, who noticed me in confusion, calmed me down and explained the situation in detail. Before working at the current nursing home, she worked at a facility for more severe cases. Including dementia patients, the president's wife was among them.
My wife developed dementia early. It became too much for my daughter and me, so we turned to a facility for help.
Alice was the caregiver for the president's wife at that facility.
Alice always cared for my mother with a smile. Thanks to her, Mom had a peaceful end.
His daughter seemed looking back that time and said so with tearful eyes. The president's wife had passed away 3 years ago, but Alice supported her until the very end.
After that, I moved to the current facility because I felt my physical strength was reaching its limit. I loved my previous job, but taking care of severe cases was too much for me.
Oh, I had no idea. I was surprised to learn about Alice's connection with our company's president. The president was initially happy to see Alice again, but as he realized something, his expression turned to anger.
Wait a minute. So, Jake has mistreated someone who has been so kind to us.
Well, yes, that's what happened.
Oh my God. Dad, it's totally out of the question, isn't it?
Right, John Alice, could you wait here for a moment?
The president and his daughter nodded to each other and hurried off to the hotel next door. They returned in less than 10 minutes. His daughter came back, dragging someone by the collar.
Sorry to keep you waiting, John, Alice.
And the person the daughter threw down in front of us was Jake. Jake didn't seem to understand, but the daughter broke down the situation and explained it to him. Jake's face turned pale when he realized the situation.
Jake, you may be competent at your job, but there are issues with your character. We need to reconsider your employment at our company.
The president said indirectly. Jake, realizing his position, knelt and apologized to us.
I'm sorry, John. I'll be more careful and promise it won't happen again.
I felt my anger dissipate at his desperate apology. Alice seemed to feel the same. I managed a wry smile and said, "It's fine. Your apology doesn't mean much, but if you promise never to disrespect my wife again, we'll let this go." Jake looks annoyed at hearing this from someone like me who he always makes fun and looks down. He was unable to retort in front of the president, and could only mutter a quiet thank you. Later, Jake was ordered by the president to return home early.
You might spoil the mood here.
Unable to defy the order, Jake left quietly. At home, his wife, who had always been puzzled by his behavior, confronted him, and he confessed everything. He had always said things that looked down on his wife, so I thought he was being bossy even at home. She brought Jake to our house for a second apology, saying with a smile,
"I'll take responsibility for re-educating this sorry excuse of a husband."
It seems that the person under her thumb was Jake. It seems that her re-education was successful, as Jake became much more subdued after the incident. With his snide remarks gone, my life became peaceful. The president's daughter even visited our house to thank us on behalf of her busy father.
John, you're a lucky man to have such a wonderful wife. You have great judgment. I hope you and Alice have a long, happy life together.
I couldn't agree more. I can't believe I was able to meet and marry such a wonderful, kind-hearted and reliable woman. I am indeed the luckiest man